Okay. Supposed to be a pop-up. Okay, hold on. Okay, cool. Okay. And all right, we up and running. All right, cool. We good to go. All right, and now let me go back to sharing the screen. Let me drop this down and pull up the charts. I've been having a good day, good week so far with these charts. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. All right, and we're gonna go to number one. And there we go. All right, so I can see that it's on the screen myself. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. All right, well, we perfect. All right, we good to go now. All right, so let me go over a couple of rules, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Make sure that if you have any chart questions or whatever, make sure to have those questions ready for me. Number one, I am not a financial advisor, so I'm not here to give financial advice. If you need a financial advisor, please go ask a financial advisor, such as what to do with your taxes and all these different things. Because that's not what I do. I don't do that. We're just looking at the charts, trying to see what they're talking about, and then we go from there. Okay. And they've been talking very well to me this week, and I appreciate them charts talking. They've been talking. Okay. Number two, make sure that when we get to the question and answer period, that your background noise is under control because this is being recorded for playback, and they do want to hear your questions and my answers. And no question is a dumb question because it's a lot of times the questions you ask other people had in mind themselves, and they couldn't ask the question because a lot of times we have people who tune in from work, and so they just can't get on the phone to talk, or whatever other reasons. Okay, so just make sure that during your question and answer period that your background noise is under control and that you just ask questions. I'm here to help. Okay. We also get more listeners after class than we do during class. Okay. So your question is helping a lot of people. All right. If anybody, this is very important. This is very important. And they're going to hit on this a little bit when we talk about the copy. I want to talk about that for a moment as well. But make sure that when you're ready to trade and go live, use disposable income. Don't ever trade with funds that you have to pay bills with. Okay. Disposable income simply means this. You've been practicing in the demo account for quite a while. You've been able to double or triple your demo account. Demo account. Somebody type the word demo. DEMO. I want to make sure you guys are listening to this. This is critically important. Please type the word demo. Okay. I want to make sure everybody's on board with this. Thank you, Rob. You got it in first. Okay. And I see everybody else. Okay. Demo. The problem with retail traders, everybody's in a rush in the demos in the retail space to make money. And I get that. That's why we all here. But the problem is that you're not doing things correctly. A lot of you guys. I can't tell you the number of messages where people say, yeah, I keep putting money in my account and keep blowing my account, but no, well, and they're constantly telling me about how they're refilling their account. But if you have to keep refilling your account, then something's wrong. That's telling you you're not ready to go into a live account. Okay. To only go to a live account when you've actually doubled or even tripled your demo account first. And that's not by just taking one or two lucky trades and saying, see, Uncle P, I doubled my account. No, that's not it. It's done over time. Okay. Consistently managing your money, because that's part of demo trading, is managing the money correctly. That has always been an Achilles heel for many traders, is how to manage the money. So in other words, you're not taking one trade and using 50% of your balance to be able to double your account. Now you took one trade, you have one lucky trade, and boom, okay, I doubled my account with one trade. Okay, that's cool. And I see people on YouTube who does it, trying to, get you all feeling good about it can work for you too. Yeah, and it'll work. But again, the problem is, it's like last week, the market could come out with something crazy and just shoot like the 4th of July all over the place, and your one hitter quitters, your account is blown. It's gone. Okay, your account is gone. Okay, I was listening to a person who was a professional trader, and he was saying that all traders, in their opinion, should never use more than 3% per trade. Okay, 3%. Somebody type 3%. I want to make sure this is sticking. Okay. 3%. And watch this logic as to why they're saying this. So if you took trades at 3% per trade, you have 100% in your account. Okay. And let's say you lose 3 trades in a row. 3 trades in a row. How much did you actually lose in your account with 3 trades in a row at 3%? How much did you lose? Let's do some math here so you guys can get the logic. Because if a person tells me I keep blowing my account, it's telling me one big problem still exists. Not only may it be their trading strategy, but also their money management. So if you lose 3 trades at 3%, 3 times 3 equals what? Come on, this is some, there you go. Thank you, Rob. Rob got it first. This is some, elementary math. 3 times 3 equals 9. That means you only lost 9% of your account balance, even if you lost 3 trades in a row. So it's interesting to me when people say, I blew my account. Interesting. Let's even stretch it further. Let's go and say you lost 10 trades in a row at 3%. How much is that? Simple math. Should have learned this stuff in elementary school. Rob got it first. Rich is next. You're correct. You only lost 30% of your entire account at 3% per trade. So how is it possible you keep, quote unquote, blowing your account? Uh-oh, Uncle P stepping on my toes already. It's too early for that. I didn't even get to warm up my bunions on my toes, and you stepping on them. Yep, I'm stepping. Stepping right. That's right. Stepping on them bunions. I'm stepping on them. Because the truth is, it forces you to think, how is it possible that I keep, quote unquote, blowing my account? Every time you say, I blew my account, you're telling on yourself. Not only that you may need some more time to learn how to trade in the markets, but it's also confessing the truth that you're a poor money manager. Interesting fact. Type amen if y'all with me so far. I want to make sure this is making sense to you guys. This was not in my notes, but this is a good thing that everybody are hearing this. If you're risking 3% per trade, there is an impossibility for you to just blow your account in a week. Let's stretch it one more time and then I'll move on. If you lost 20 trades in a row, you're the most terrible trader. You may feel like, oh, I'm a terrible trader. Uncle P, I'm terrible. I'm terrible at this. And that's why I'm here. That's great. So 3% times 20, how much is that? Rob, you're on fire. That's only 60% of your portfolio. You lost 20 trades in a row. Derv, you got it. Rich, you got it. You lost 20 trades in a row. You're one of the students who really need some work. Okay? Fresh in the game, man. Don't know nothing. Just slinging. Like it's a slot machine. I'm just going to pick anything. And you lose 20 trades in a row at 3%. You still only lost 60% of your portfolio, which means you still got 60 plus 40 equal 100. You still got 40% of your portfolio left. And that's 20 lost trades in a row. Okay, 20 in a row, and you still ain't blew your account. So can you rationalize to me when you hear people say, I blew my account? It means, no, you are a poor money manager. And you need to take your time and stop trying to rush to get to this goal of financial freedom and take your time and do things right. Okay, type of 100 if that was helpful. And then we move on to the next point. Okay. We got to get this together, family, or we're never going to make it out. We're not going to make it out. Okay. And you're really wasting your time and your money. And the prop firms will love you. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next thing. Here's the next thing. Very important. If anybody says, "Oh, I'm Uncle P. I'm Miss Jenny. I'm Dr. Elvis. I'm Miss Donna. I'm Nancy. I'm so on forth, and I'm a representative of all of Super Easy. And send me some Bitcoin, and I'll flip your account, and I'll do this and that. Just send me some Bitcoin. Just send me some Bitcoin. I'm Uncle P's cousin from the fifth power on the third side of his mama." The devil is a lie. Don't fall for these scammers, please. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. If anybody is contacting you, private messaging or whatsoever else, please just send us an email or to superezforex@gmail.com so we can get those people taken care of. Because if they're in our group, I guarantee they won't remain in our group. Okay. Please let us know, but do not fall for scammers. Okay. I mentioned this the other day, that one of the ways you can know a scammer is because you never really get to see who's talking. Okay, that's one of the biggest things. Scammers like to hide behind the scenes. They'll send you emails, send you private messages, this and that, but they don't leave footprints for you to actually be able to follow them and contact them. Okay, majority of them. There are some bold ones out there, but most of them, they're hidden behind words and little screenshots and this and that. Okay, and they know you're desperate to try to make it out of financial situation, and they take advantage of the retail traders. Okay, so don't do that. All right. Let's move on. I want to welcome our YouTube family, and I know there's going to be a lot of people watching that later on. So hundreds watch it, and sometimes there may be 1,000 people watch it later or whatever. I don't even check those numbers, but either way it goes, welcome YouTube family and any new people. All right, so let me give you guys an update on the copycat, just so you guys will know about that. So far, and I posted in the group that we are at, where did I put that? I think we're at 7-2 or 6-2 this week, something like that. Yeah. Let's see, hitting the wrong thing. 7-2, I think we are. Yeah, we're 7-2, and so far we are at 100. Let me just pull this up so you guys can see. And I want to cover this real quick because I know a lot of you guys want to join the copycat, but I want to give you a strong suggestion. Okay, just a strong suggestion. All right, there we go. All right, so here's our numbers for this week. These two losses were a carryover of two trades that were from last week on the USD pairs. And this is an important point. The reason why you want to manage your risk is because news can come out at any given time. And when the news pops off, it will be a problem. So what happened last week, just for clarification, because a lot of you guys were in trades and didn't know what happened, like we didn't know what happened. Okay, so normally every Sunday I would do a video that goes over the news events that's going to be coming up, and so that you're aware of what's popping off. However, there was two important factors that came out last week that were, kind of shocked the markets. Number one, the JPY, the USD JPY came out talking about they are going to potentially raise interest rates. And as I have taught you guys for many years now, that anytime a currency says, or a country says, we're going to raise interest rates on our currency, people are going to start investing into that currency. If the country says we are going to lower interest rates, that currency is going to drop. For an example, okay? For an example, anytime let me give it to you like this. When the JPY came out and said we potentially are going to raise interest rates, guess what happened? The JPY had a short-term spike up. Why? Because here's what it looks like. If you put your money over here, we're going to pay you interest on your money. If you put your money over there and they say we're not going to pay interest on it, how many people would stay? None. Everybody wants to dump you and say, oh, and this is how your banks are working, by the way. Your savings accounts, which you think, oh, I'm going to put this money into my savings account. We still got that old mentality thinking, okay, I put my money in my savings account, and then after a couple of years, it's going to grow. Actually, and you check it and you see it hasn't went anywhere. And in some situations, it may have lost value. Why? Because the banks are not paying you interest on your money. So you're just putting your money there, and that's great to save it, to keep it away. Save it from what? You touching it, but it's not saving to build up interest like it used to. So when the feds came out last week and they're saying, I think since the economy is doing better, inflation numbers are doing better, we may, all they hinted at is we may lower interest rates. And when they said that, what they were saying to anybody who have money in your savings account, that money that you think you're going to get some interest on, you ain't getting nothing. So what do people do? They dumped the dollar and jumped over to a currency that said, we're going to pay you interest rates. We're going to pay you. If you put your money here, we're going to pay you something extra as a thank you gift. You as a dollar said, you can put your money here, but we ain't paying you no thank you. No tip. Just leave it there. And so that's the reason why you've seen that instant spike all over the place. Everybody clear on what I'm saying on that? Type of yes if you understand that. Very important economic understanding. Not only for trading, but just so you know what's going on with your money right now. This is why your 401ks and IRAs are not growing. Okay? Depending on who's managing your money, they're not parking it in places where the money actually is getting interest paid on it. So therefore, you can wait 10 years and see that your money barely went anywhere. But in your head, you're thinking it's supposed to grow. It's an old concept that's still being used to convince people they're going to retire and have a lot more money in their portfolio than they think it's going to be there. This is why you see so many seniors going back to work. It was a poor idea that they sold to the people that used to work, but it ain't working now. I hope you guys are getting this logic. This logic. Okay. Now, so the two losses that we took last week were both on USD pairs, where the news came out from the feds that, and it wasn't, we knew the feds were going to be talking, but we didn't know what they were going to say. So it shocked the market. The dollar dropped like a rock. And when we get to the charts, you'll see that. Because I'm going to show you that on the chart so you can see where it actually happened. But when the feds started running, they're bumping their gums, like my mom used to say, you're bumping your gums. Okay, when they started bumping their gums or talking, and they hinted, they didn't even do it. They just hinted at it. And that was good enough to make the dollar drop. And that's where those two losses came from. If it wasn't for that, we would probably have a perfect record. So that's that. Okay, so that's an explanation. But anyway, since then, this week, we are at 7 winners, only 2 losses. And for the year, which gives us, 4 weeks, 2 months, 2.5 months. So in 2.5 months, this is our total trades for the year, 150 trades. Winners and only 20 losses. Okay. Now, with that being said, one thing I do want to talk about, and then we're going to move on. I do want to share with you guys that anytime you're going to be jumping into the copycat service, one of the things you do want to do, and this is just a suggestion, you can start with whatever balance you want, but I'm strongly suggesting I would, if it was me, a comfortable balance would be like $400 or $500 so that it gives it enough room for it to grow. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Putting $100 in there, that's cool, but with trying to do money management and make it grow faster and faster and faster, it takes time to grow these accounts because again, winners we every week we've been producing winners, but losses will come in between there, and you have to have enough capital in there to absorb when there's a loss or if there's a drawdown. Okay, because some of the trades we can take them, but they're not going to be overnight winners. And here's the concept. Okay, watch this, and then we move on. So, for an example, some of Miss Jenny's trades are more of swing trades. Okay, where you're going to hold them for a little bit because she straightened off a higher time frame, and therefore you're going to hold them for a little while. They're profitable, but they're going to be held a little bit longer. Dr. Elvis is more like a day trader, so you'll be typically holding his trades for at least 24 hours. And me, I'm trying to be the scalper person where, like last night, I sent out a trade to you guys who's in the copycat family on NZD JPY. We took the trade on NZD JPY, and within a few hours, I was able to close it out for 38 pips, and everybody was profitable. Those who had that trade, type of amen. for confirmation. If you saw that in your portfolio, for those who's in the copycat group. Okay, thank you, Liz, and thank you, Donna, and everybody else. See, so we're giving you guys a mixture in your portfolio so that you get some swing trades, some day trades, and some quick in and outers. Okay, and it keeps your portfolio running like that. So make sure you just have enough capital to absorb all of those different ones. Okay, so that's the point on that. One more thing, and we're done on this, and then let's get to the charts. Some people were asking, what does it actually look like? Okay, so here's what it looks like. Give me a second. All right, I'm gonna put this over here. And then let me pull up another one. And let me put this over here. And then make sure you have your questions ready because I want to talk to you guys and answer questions. All right, so watch this. All it really is just simple as this, because I know we had some people who was emailing a lot of emails, asking a lot of questions. And realistically, this thing is incredibly simple. All right, so let's say for an example, this is us. Ours is blue. Yours is this color, okay? You can select your risk base. And I tell you guys, make sure to go through the tutorials, either use a fixed lot size or the ratio of your receiver's balance. You're the receiver, so just, you can set them like 2 or 3%. Or me, I like always using the fixed lot size. So depending on my balance, like this one, I got like 4,800 in this demo account. So let's just say I use 0.5 on my lot size. So every trade that's going to come through is going to be that lot size, okay? So watch this. I'm just going to take a random trade. Do not take this trade. It's random. Don't take it, all right? So watch this. I'm going to take this trade, and let's just say I want to sell it here. Boom. Look what just happened. See? The moment I took it in this account, it just popped up on yours. That's it. Okay, I'm covering this because we're getting tons of questions about it. That's actually all it is. Whenever we take trades on our accounts, it pops up in yours. Watch this. I'm going to put a stop loss. And look here, stop loss is in place. I'm going to put a take profit. Take profit is in place. Simple as that. That's it. You don't do anything. Set this up and leave it alone. Okay, don't babysit it, don't helicopter it. Now watch this. Now this trade just went into profit, and you see this one went into profit. So I'm going to close it out. And that one closed out in profit, just like that. You see what I mean? Everybody clear on that? Type of 50 if you're clear on it. And then let's get on to the charts. That's it. That's how it works. Nothing more, nothing less. You set it up and let us do the work. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay, that's it. Some of y'all like, dang, that was a quick scalp. Yeah, that was a quick one too for a winner. But that's all it is. All right. Now, so let's get into the nitty gritty. So earlier, when I was talking about this, let's go to this charts, and I'm going to show you guys what I meant about what happened last week. Okay. By the way, gold went through the roof. As you can see, here's gold. It went up crazy, huge moves. Okay. By the way, Bitcoin hit 70 or 72,000, and all the and I don't trade crypto like that. That's more of my son PJ. He's into that stuff, but I do watch it, and I do hold some crypto in a portfolio. But it went through the roof. Okay, it shot up crazy. All of these things shot up crazy. I do have my own theories as to why that's happening, but I'll keep that for another show. Okay. Anyway, as you can see, gold went up like crazy, but watch what happens. Okay. See right here, the dollar dropped. See that drop? They all did the same thing, same time. Look at that massive drop. Now they're doing a recovery move, which I think CAD is going to come back up. See, it's doing a slant pattern, pop up, slant, pop up, slant, pop up. So I think the dollar is going to recover some of these losses this week, but you can clearly see every single one of them did the exact same thing. Okay. Now, when the JPY came out, which is why it shot up, and all the currencies that went against the JPY, they temporarily dropped too. So this is my point. When interest rates are being announced, you guys got to be careful because this could happen. Now, you don't know which way it's going to go. And typically, the JPY has always kept their interest rates the same, but they just hinted at the fact they may change it. And this is why some of you guys who are in those trade setups that look pretty good and all of a sudden all hell broke loose on them, that's what actually happened, news events. So in conclusion on this point, when you are trading, it is important that you use risk percentage, not because, well, Uncle P, I saw this setup. I don't know what happened. Why didn't it work out, Uncle P? Because don't forget what kind of business you're in. You're trading countries' economies. Every time you place a trade, you're trading two countries' economies. And at any given moment, that country can come out and make an unscheduled announcement. And they can just hint at something and the trade can just blow up and go in the wrong direction. But if you're risking like 3% of your account, I can say, hey, if you want to be very, very aggressive, go up to 5%. But even if you lose 5% of your account, you still got 95% left because anything can happen in these markets. Anything. Because you're dealing with countries' economies. That is what makes this very challenging. If it wasn't for the news announcements, I believe more retail traders across the globe would actually be highly successful. But because of the explosive news events that can come out, meaning fundamentals or news, that is what's presenting the challenge for retail traders. And what makes it worse is because banks and institutions have access to this information before the news event comes out to us. That has always been a challenge and a goal of mine, to find a place where I can get access to their information. Because if I have access to the bank's information and they know what's going to come out before it's said, oh my God, I'll be a whistleblower. Y'all, hold on, buy gold. Because guess what? I wish I would have known what happened because gold just exploded. Boy, y'all, everybody buy gold. Gold right now. Uncle P, why? It's always going to be one person. Uncle P, why would you want to buy gold right now? Shut up. Dude, shut your mouth. Just buy it. Just buy it. And look what happened. All of us would have been wealthy within about a week or two. One trade. Y'all get what I'm saying? Type of 10 if you understand what I'm saying. This is my goal. If I can find a resource to give me the news before it's announced, not after, before, like all these institutions got, oh, this will be a whole different class. Because I'll be spending most of my time telling y'all, okay, here's the upcoming news event. So don't trade this pair. I want you, everybody, we're going to pile in on this. We're going to get in on this one. And boy, we'll all be wealthy. Why? Because it's the power of information that we're missing. Yes, Robert, politicians do know ahead of time. They're one of the ones who's making the laws. This is why I told you, and I'm gonna say this and shut my mouth and let me get to this question before I get myself. Y'all gonna get me in trouble, but let me say this to y'all. I keep telling y'all I'm not telling you not to be political and this and that, but for some of y'all who go completely bat nuts over trying to convince people that your political party is the one, whether it's Democrats or Republicans, and they all got some shadiness, okay? Nancy Pelosi and her husband got busted doing things, and they still politicians. They still there, right? Still. So when you say they're voting for you, are you sure? Or is it the fact that they know what's going to happen if they vote this direction? They already position their portfolios and they're beyond wealthy. They're not just trying to be Congress people and have these political positions just to save the country. They have access to information. And they're helping to create it because they can vote to make it work. And whether they vote, well, even if they vote in the wrong direction, watch this. Even if, and I've got to shut up before I end up missing, okay? But let me say this to you. Even if the other party, watch how powerful information is. If I'm in the Capitol and we're voting on the bill, okay? Even if my other party, the opponent party, who has the majority, ends up voting in that direction that I think they shouldn't, ain't I'm still sitting in the room getting the information? Type of yes or no. Come on. I'm still in the room. You may not vote the way I want you to vote, but I'm still sitting in the room as an investor. So even if I lose, I still win. So just being in the room where information is makes you a powerful human being. Even if you voted righteously, that's fine. And you lose, you still win personally because I have access to the information. So I already knew gold was going to go up because my opponents voted on something that didn't go my way, but I still knew what was going to happen. So boom, I still become wealthy. All I need to do is be in the room where the information is. Type of 400 if this is making sense to you guys. That is what you do. A lot of people challenge me on, I don't believe in that fundamentals, trading fundamentals. Who cares about news events? It's price action only. And then something like this happened. They'd be like, what happened? What just happened? What just happened? Oh, why did I lose my trades? Okay, because you need both parts. Not only do I know how to trade, for an example, yeah, this was an easy trade. It was just like a no-brainer. This was an easy money trade for my group. For those in the copycat group, yeah, this was an easy trade. This one I ain't even have to think about. I was like, you know what? And I really told myself, you know what? I'm gonna chill on taking trades. And then I saw this setup last night, and I said, oh, let me just go ahead and lace my people's pockets. Let me go ahead and lace them up. Why? Because this was a no-brainer. After this thing had dropped so hard, and then you just see hitting the support. Watch this information. I already knew based on what I know about people's behavior, information. It dropped hard, hit a strong support level, came back up, came back and retested this support level. And even if you're brand new, you can clearly see this. Y'all see these white dots right here, which means support? Do you see these white dots right here, which also means support, meaning the floor? Support means the floor. In other words, for those who's new, support, when we talk about support and resistance, support is like standing on the floor. I don't care how hard I slam a basketball, it will never go lower than the floor. I don't care how much trouble is going on in the world, as long as I got my 2 feet planted on a concrete floor, I physically cannot go lower than that concrete because I'm standing on a strong support. So when you see it sitting on a strong support level, it only got one way to go. So when I seen this, I said, oh, that's easy, but let me go ahead and send them one out real quick. Let me send this one on out. And sure enough, it popped. Sure enough, it did. That was an easy money trade. Why? Because information makes you powerful. Everybody understand what I'm saying here? Information. Why you think you come into class? Because you're trying to get what? Information. And I just spit some game out to y'all. So those who got the sexy analysts and simplicity, oh, this was a no-brainer. I mean, that was a no-brainer trade. Easy money. You gonna give me some easy? All right, well, come on. Let me lace up the copycat family and put some stuff in their pockets while they sleep. That was a no-brainer. Why? Information. Okay. Okay. Everybody clear? Everybody clear on this? Okay. Everybody clear? Information makes you powerful. Right? So anyway, what I wish I would have known though is when the JPY was going to make the announcement as far as hinting towards raising interest rates. Those who were in the room made a boatload of money because if they already knew what was going to be coming out, and look at this massive move. This was a nice little short move for about 38 pips. I closed it out at 38 pips. But what about if we would have known this? Oh my God. 200 pips, 260. Pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. And all it took was just having information. Any questions so far? Raise your hands. Track questions. Trade setups that you have a question about. Go ahead and raise your hand. Let's go ahead and get started. See that massive drop? JPY last week? Recovery. For an example, by the way, this is I knew this was going to happen. Something came out on the Euros news, made them all pop up. They all did the same thing, and now they're retracing. Okay, Robert, go ahead and unmute.
Hey, Uncle B, what's up?
Good morning. Hey, what's up, Rob?
Two things. Can you look at that gold move on Ocean Wave to see how it looked?
Yep, yep. Yeah, let's go to gold. Oh, that was
And
a
the second thing is request from anybody. If anybody's using MT5 and you find a indicator similar to what Uncle P uses here called what was that called? Info Plus.
mm-hmm.
Please share it because I can't find anything like that on
Yep.
MT5 yet.
I couldn't either. And by the way, I do have, just so you guys know, almost all the indicators already for the MT5 as well. So that we have the Ocean Wave scanner, Simplicity, this and that. The only one we're waiting on to get finished is the Simplicity scanner to get done. But the Sexy Analyst is done, and its scanners and all those different things. And then we send it over to the license department. So eventually, in a little while, just give me a little bit more time, and all of these indicators will be available for the MT5, and I'll go over that during that time and make the announcement. But yeah, here's gold, where it was just sitting dormant, 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 and then all of a sudden an explosive move happened. And this is what it looks like on the 30-minute, and this is what it looks like on the 1 hour.
That's killer.
Yeah, incredible. And this is why, if for anybody who's new, I always recommend start with the Ocean Wave. This is going to be your best system to start with, where you can start seeing things simply. And then as you develop, you can move over to other systems. Now, if you're a person who trades support and resistance levels, supply and demand zones, you're used to trading, but you need something, then the Sexy Analyst will be better for you. But remember what I told you guys, use that on the second half of the week, typically. And on the first half of the week, you want to look for trends, and this is where this comes in. But yeah, this one, Rob, it was a killer. It was just, but see here, Rob, you want to know where the problem was? Why a lot of people missed this move? Rob, are you there? Uh-oh. Robert? Hi, Rob.
So he asked me a question, but he cut me off. I'm like,
No, it just muted on its own. I'm sorry. Robert,
what was
here's
the
the question.
question?
This massive, massive move that we're all seeing now, why do you think most retail traders missed out on it? Looking at this chart.
Uh, Stump me on this one. Um,
Just any guess.
but it looks like it's sideways a lot for one, but
You can stop right there. Guys, and watch this, Rob. Guys, type in the box. Why do y'all think that most retail traders who were in this trade actually would have missed the big move? What do you think happened?
it's probably what,
Donna said no patience. Everybody's saying, and
yeah, they may have gotten in it at first, but after a while they got back out of it thinking it's not going to move.
you got it. And that's what happens. It consolidated and then the big explosive moves. So most of us, we wouldn't hold this long. We don't have the patience. We want things now. And that's exactly why we would end up missing the big moves, which happens quite often in the retail space. This is what happens. The
I
big,
probably would have held it until I showed something going in the other direction.
yeah. See, that's good. That's a good idea. The average person, though, in the retail space, they don't have any patience. I will tell you this: the wealthy people, they have all the infinite patience in the world. They wait. They just wait. They don't have. I can't tell you when I was trading in stocks, on which I do plan on getting back into it one day. But when I was trading in the stock market, I'll tell you that was always my flaw as well, because you can't have a binary option, which is we were trading in 30-second to 1 minute increments. Then you come over here, this is a little bit slower, but to go over from that kind of mentality to the stock market, where you typically are going to hold a trade for at least 30 to 90 days, and sometimes there's no movement. Yeah,
We'll say months. Yeah.
that's what happens. And so, but for those who are wealthy, they already know the game is patience. Wait out everybody else, let their impatience shake them out, and let's just cash in on the big moves. This is why wealthy people, they make big, big moves on their portfolio at least a year or two, sometimes, where it's 6 months in advance of what is about to happen. I'll give you an example. Warren Buffett, that old G, he is a beast, Rob, but he will typically make moves months to years before time. So, for an example, when I told you guys here about a year ago, when I started noticing him dumping a lot of his stock portfolio, and he started investing into watch. And we're talking about it as we speak. Ain't that crazy? Thinking about it. Let's look at this. I told you guys about a year ago that I noticed that Warren Buffett, there was some news about Warren Buffett dumping a lot of his stock and going into buying gold. He started buying gold mining companies or this and that. Well, who do you think just made a boatload of money on this move? Warren Buffett and his
He knew
people.
something. He knew something.
See, they know in advance. And so he positioned his portfolio at least a year or so in advance. I was watching Grant Cardone being interviewed on Bitcoin. And that was just the other day when he was being interviewed, but him and people like him, Robert Kiyosaki and the others, they said, oh yeah, we've been holding ours for a long time. So even when it was doing that massive pullback from the 60s back to the 30s, they said, we don't care. Matter of fact, they said we do a quote unquote dollar cost averaging. So the more it went down, they were buying up more. And now it's at 72. What do you think happened to their pockets? They rich, but they just have patience. So anyway, yeah. Any other questions on gold though that you had?
Looking something up. What's the price now? 2020. Okay. I was looking at the price of gold this time a year ago, and I think it said it was 2023. Or maybe that was the year. I don't know. But I was wanting to compare between from last year on this date to what we have now.
Right,
See how
right.
much it moved.
See if it's cyclical. Yeah, but bottom line,
And Copycat is teaching me to be more patient.
yeah, yeah.
Touch anything.
I think the shock factor for those who join the copycat, who's used to trying to hurry up and get this money real quick, they're learning our style of trading, what makes us good at what we do. It's knowing to just be patient, hold on, hold on. Yes, pullbacks are nothing to us. That's normal for an example, talking about pullbacks. As I just shared with you, Grant Cardone, Robert Kiyosaki's, and many of those, they were constantly talking about, yeah, buy Bitcoin. They have been talking about this for a while. Buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin was at 60s. It dropped all the way to the 30s and this and that. And they were still saying, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it. But now when you look at where it is now, you got all these people trying to flood in and hurry up and buy it. Do you think this is the best time to buy? No, it's at its peak now. And it may do a pullback. You're getting in now that the hype is here. But they were doing it before the hype came, and they were just patient with what they did. Patient.
They've been putting out silver commercials for a while now.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. So for people who have patience in this game, they're going to do much better than the people who don't have patience. And if for the retail people, that's one of the absolute biggest lessons you have to learn. You have to learn to be patient. Let it play out. Leave it alone. It'll get there when it get there. We have in the retail space, Rob, an issue with trying to make the market move in the pace we want it to. And as a result, if it don't, then we adjust our trading strategy to something more quicker. Well, let me trade off this 1 minute. And you constantly getting your head toe up. Not you, Rob, but people in the retail space, constantly getting your head toe up, not realizing I can't make the market move where it doesn't want to go. It'll get there when it wants to get there. My job is sit back and relax. Let me find a good setup and then sit back and relax. And when it gets there, it gets there. That's the goal. That's how wealthy people are doing what they're doing. When I was doing the real estate and I used to have my kids go with me, I used to purchase properties on the low. And then I took my kids so they'll learn how to work on houses. And I have them help me tear out sheetrock and paint and do cabinetry and all these different things. I did a lot of my own work on my properties. Okay. And people didn't want it, but they didn't see the value until I waited for a year or two, because I knew the market was going to be turning, or I knew a particular neighborhood was going to be on the come up, but it took patience. And guess what? When it did, I sold at the top and cashed out very nicely because I knew it just took patience. Everything takes patience if you're going to be an investor. So I just want to share that. Okay. Everybody with me on that? It takes patience. And so for those who's coming into the copycat group, that's what you're learning. Just like Robin, thank you, Rob, for your question. Yeah, but you're just learning patience. Now you see why we're successful at trading. Everybody takes losses, but at the end of the day, It just takes patience. Okay. All right. Let me get to Liz. Liz, go right ahead. Unmute.
Good morning, Uncle Pete.
Good morning. What's up with you, sis?
Just learning, and thank you for the copycat system. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you for joining. What's happening?
And good morning, Super Easy family. I never want to leave them out.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
I'm
indeed.
learning from all of y'all. So, you know how you analyze NZ, NZD, JPY?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go to AUD, NZD.
AUD, NZD.
And what I did was I did some practice
Mm-hmm.
on this system here. Just, you know how you teach us how to see if it's tap dancing from the
Yep.
top or bottom.
Yep.
So I did that with that one, and I caught this one.
Yep.
And when at the first tap dance,
Mm-hmm.
and the drop hadn't even happened yet
Yep.
on the 4 hour. Let me see.
You
And
talking
then
about this move right here?
yes, go back to the second one.
This one
Yeah.
right here.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Okay, let me go to the 4 hour. I'm on the 15. I already went to the 15. I think it was the second. So go to the 15, Uncle P.
Okay. Right
So
there.
on the 15, that's where I caught it, right
Yep.
there, where the arrow is.
Yep.
The arrow hadn't even come in yet.
Beast mode.
Yeah. And so I said, I just watched it. I said, I'm gonna see if I can catch some of these while Uncle P's teaching on it and get better at just recognizing them.
That's correct.
So it went down most of the night. Then when I checked it just now, it's all the way back up to the top again.
This is
It
the
bounced up.
move over here. Let me show you this, sis, so everybody's on the same page. So I marked it up. This is the initial one. So if we go to the 4 hour, okay, and let me make this bigger. That initial move from here to here, if you go to the 15-minute, you can see it better. Let me do this. Let me unlock the charts. All right, there we go. And you can see that initial move right here, and it dropped all the way through.
Okay.
And then if on the 4 hour, let's go back, and then it did another initial drop, which is right here. From here to here. Let's go down to the 15-minute, and that was this one right here, where y'all could see. Simple moves.
Right. And so just like you were in.
Mm-hmm. Truth be told, if we can get, watch this, team, everybody. All right, watch this. And Reggie, I'll see you. I'll take your hand next. Truth be told, Liz, and I was thinking about this. Trading could be an extremely easy job if we can get past ourselves. Because think about it. If you get into a trade and it takes a while to get there, guess what? What's the rush? You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
What's the rush? So technically, we're defeating ourselves because we can sometimes see some, like you just did. You're seeing some great setups on a higher time frame, but since it's off the higher time frame, what's the one thing you're going to have to do? Have patience and let it play out. It's not going to just play out all the time in 5 minutes. Okay, it's going to take time to play out. But during that time, can't you be doing other things then?
That's right. Yep, because I found this one and I just set it on the chart and I went about doing other stuff and I saw it play out just like you normally teach us in class.
That's exactly
the behaviors,
And that's what I'm trying to get us as a family to learn, the behaviors of the market, so that we time this thing as best we can, get into your trade, and then just leave it alone. There's nothing you can do. Once we get the control issues out of our head of saying, oh, well, no, it should do this at this time and this, no, it should do this, but what time? I don't know. It can take an hour. It can take 2 hours. It can take a couple of days before it makes its move. I don't care. As long as you don't hit my stop loss, we're good. We leave it alone. Yeah.
That's right. And that's why I like the copycat, because I guess, breaking all the bad habits that I had from other trading that I may have learned, I'm seeing what it looks like from just watching over you, Miss Jenny and Elvis's shoulder, and I'm like, oh, okay, just sit there, chill out.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
This is
So
why.
I needed that.
This is why, sis, you wonder why people like Elon Musk and all these other people, they keep constantly having the time to launch new businesses. Well, because they know once they launch one thing and it's going to take time for it to develop, once they get it up and running and they understand it, then they just use that time to work on something else. They don't sit there helicoptering and babysitting this one thing, because no matter how much you try to do that, you can't make things go faster than what they're going to be. So therefore, they occupy their time by developing other things. And so you see them juggling all these companies. They got all these companies under their belt. Yeah, there's a reason why. Because if you're especially in trading, you can't afford to sit there, or else this is just going to drive you nuts.
Right. Correct.
You have no power over the timing. You just don't. And
But you know what, Uncle P? You know what I saw? So when I just sit there, and I could be going, because I do volunteer for my gardening association with my neighborhood. So I just go do that.
Yeah.
I come back and I'm beginning to be able to a little bit predict exactly what it's going to do based on what we're learning with market behavior. I can see it more clearly now, especially as I'm kind of like forced to be patient and let it play out with the copycat system. And so I'm learning a huge lesson there.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad you. And I wish more people would, because again, it will make it, again, I think for the average retail, and by the way, if you're brand new and you're wondering what is a retail trader, that means professional traders versus amateurs. So if you hear me use the word retail traders, which is what they call us in the markets, retailers, that's just a way of saying novice, immature, beginners, pick whatever word floats your boat that you don't like. They're looking at what we do, because Liz, you're talking about markets behavior, but they're looking at our behavior. And that's how they label you a retailer, because they look at your behavior ways of how you're approaching the markets. And if you have patience and you're very selective and picky on your trades, then you're considered a professional trader. But if you're a person who always want to be in a hurry, you just got to get the scalp. I got to scalp some trades because I need to hurry up and make some money. Okay, then you automatically put yourself into what they call, technically in the stock market, they call you dumb money. That's what that movie just came out not too long ago it was called dumb money, by the way. And it's really, I told y'all, it's a real term. They think you're dumb money. You're just retailer. You're just a retailer. In other words, you don't know what you're doing. But the thing that separates them, it's not really the trades themselves, because technically, like you said, Liz, people who come here, they technically know what to look for now. But so why are they still getting tripped up? Because you don't have the behavioral pattern like professionals. You see it, but you don't have the patience to wait for it to play out. And so you're jumping in and out of trades like it's hopscotch. You're complaining all the time. You're in a rush to do this. You're over leveraging your account. You're blowing up your account. That's all retail behavior. Has nothing to do with your trading. So a lot of you guys can be successful because you do know what to look for. But it's when you look for it and spot it, how do you behave afterwards? And that behavior separates you from being the amateur to a professional. That's only different.
You know what, Uncle P? It's showing me what I'm doing wrong. The copycat system, just alone.
Yes.
Just showing me what I'm doing wrong, and I'm correcting it.
Yes.
And I've not lost a trade. I just left it alone.
Yes.
Let the experts do their job.
And we had a lot of people who joined and quit because they like, oh, y'all ain't. Okay, well, bye. You're not going to make us become you, because the truth is, you're here to get assistance with actually becoming a professional. But then when you deal with professionals, you want the professionals to be like you, a retailer. So if you're trying to make a professional become a retailer, then we're all doomed. That's like the Bible says, that's like the blind leading the blind. All of us going to fall into the ditch. Because if ways were successful, okay, come on, you wouldn't need me. But you're here, and that's everybody needs somebody sometime, and that's fine. But don't try to make me become you, because you're not you, Liz, not you, but I'm talking in general. People's ways weren't working. That's why you hire professionals to do a job.
That's right.
And if you're going to try to tell oh my God, you try to tell the professional how to do their job, then why did you even hire them? I don't understand. This is what people do. You hire a professional and then try to tell the professional how to do an unprofessional job like you've been doing. Okay,
Right.
bye. You gotta go. Bye. Bye. Because I'm not going to be you. And this is why Jenny has her own style, Elvis has his own style, and I have my own style. All three of us are different. We're different, completely different. We see the markets, and I've been telling y'all this for years. How you see the markets is how you're going to make your money. It's depending on how you see it. So they see it different from me. And I don't try to make them be like Uncle P with, look, why did you take that trade like this? And that's their style. That's their style of how they trade. And it's been working for them for years. So I don't bother them. They don't bother me.
Yeah, right. And one of the most important things that I'm glad I learned from Dr. Elvis was to open a few more trading accounts.
Yep.
Don't put your eggs in the same basket. So I have a trading account with you, one with Miss Jenny, and one with Dr. Elvis. And I'm learning their trading styles just from that alone.
Yes. In fact,
And I'm learning patience.
Sis, here's something. I'll know he ain't gonna get mad because he's gonna share some stuff with you guys coming up soon. He'll start. I had a phone call with Dr. Elvis on yesterday, and he was sharing how there's a guy who has 30 accounts, and all he makes on each account is like $50 a day. 30 accounts. So somebody do the math real quick. What's 30 times 50? Just $50. 30 times 50 is how much, somebody? How much is that? Reggie got it. Y'all got it. Okay. He's making 1,500 a day. Times that by 25 days. Take 1,500 a day, times that by 25 days. Because on average, it's about 25 days if you separate the weekends. Let's do it like I'll put it on screen. 1,500 times 25 days. How much is he making a month? Everybody seeing this? Everybody seeing this number on screen? Just $50 a day. All right. And let's times that by 12, which is annualize it. There you go.
Wow. Powerful.
No, so Robert said there's 252 trading days. Okay, so let's do this. All right, so $50, 1,500 times 252 trading days in a year. There we go. 378,000 a year. Just doing $50 on each one of these accounts.
Boom. Yeah, Robert. For sure.
Are y'all with me? So this is what I'm saying. The point is that it's possible to get to the goals we want, but we can't keep doing the things that we've been doing that hasn't been working as a retail family. And this is what people constantly keep doing. They keep trying to force their way to work, and it just don't. So therefore, you have to be willing to say, okay, I'm willing to learn something different. I'm willing to do things different. And that's the key. Are you willing to do things differently than what you thought? And I wouldn't be here if I stuck to what I thought. I'm being honest with you guys. There's a term that Bishop T.D. Jakes had shared a long time ago. He said nimbleness of thought. He was preaching about something. I forgot what it was, but I just never forgot that statement that he said. And he said it in passing. It wasn't the theme of what he was talking about, but he said it in passing years ago. And I heard that term and I said, oh my God, that's powerful. He said nimbleness of thought. Nimbleness of thought means you have the ability to adjust your thinking and be adaptable based on when situations are taking place. Do you stick to the old ways or are you adaptable? Are you able to maneuver and adapt your thinking to what's new when new information comes in? And most people don't. They get stuck in their ways and they're stuck in their thinking and they just refuse to change their ways. And this is why, Liz, you've been around me a while. You know, I've always said I don't deal with stubborn people. The reason why?
Yeah.
They don't have adaptive thinking. And you'll sit there wasting your time talking to them and they'll still be stuck. You present them with common sense information and they'll still be stuck. And this is what's happening in the retail family. They're stuck. They're stuck. They're stuck.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do about that. But for those who's in the copycat group, they're not, now that they're seeing how we actually do things, their minds are being illuminated to say, oh, this is a possibility. I never saw it this way. Oh, I see what kind of patience is required. I'm used to trying to close a trade in 10 minutes, and they're willing to hold the trade for 24 hours or more, but it still goes into profit. So am I willing to adapt my thinking to adjust to how professionals do their thing? If so, you can then become a professional yourself. If not, keep doing your retail duties and losing.
That's right. Because when I switched over to willing to hold it for longer, that's where I was stuck. I'm like, no, I'm not holding it for no 24 hours. No. But that's where I was wrong. You see, and that's why I kept losing trades. But when I looked over your shoulders and I said, they're holding these trades. How's that possible?
Yeah.
See, I'm a new trader.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me show you something. Everybody, now I'm just going to the sexy analyst by itself. No, nothing else, okay? Nothing else. All right. And let's go just look from the daily time frames, okay? Just from the daily. From the daily. From the daily. Can you see when it hit these tops and these bottoms, what was it was doing? This is just a sexy analyst all by itself, nothing else. And look at from these. But these are daily time frame, which means every one of these candles represent an entire day of activity. But look at how many times you could have hit the jackpot when it was bouncing just off the sexy analyst by itself alone. Even if you don't know nothing about trading, you just had the SA system. So it's just sitting there, but at least you can get an understanding as to what is going on. So when it's hitting these, you see it's bouncing. And this has been a slow pair. Oh my God, that one was slow. But even there, you can see, look at this. So you can kind of still get an understanding from the daily perspective as to what is going on. Then if you drop down to the lower time frames, now everything is making sense. Okay. Everything is making sense. But if you're looking and projecting from these higher time frames, guess what? See those drops? Every time you hit this line, look at it. Now on the lower time frame, it broke a little bit above it because I'm just drew a general line, just a general line. And if I move this up a little bit higher, just to accommodate, right? Because I'm doing off the daily. And let's drop to 30-minute time frame. Look at how many times I was correct. Boom, boom. Every time it came up here, what did it do? It dropped. But could you not have seen this from here? You see what I'm saying, sis?
Yes, you could.
Okay. That's what makes professionals. They come all the way out of here to get the grand perspective. And I've been saying this for years. Start at the higher time frame and drill down to the lower time frame. You have to get the whole picture, or else you're missing information that is pertinent to your trading. That's what I've been telling you guys for the longest. So when you're dealing with us and how we're trading, yeah, like Dr. Elvis, he'll go out to the monthly, then to the weekly, then to the daily, and then to the 4-hour. See, he comes all the way out there. He gets the whole picture for what is this candle doing here? And then what is this candle doing on the weekly? And what are these candles doing on the daily? And he drills it all the way. That's his style. That's him. Okay. So
You know what?
and he's profitable.
That's true, because I really haven't gone to Dr. Elvis's training, but just watching him trade, the learning is happening through the copycat system.
You got it. It's not that
It's like it's being transmitted to us,
yes.
some kind of way.
But this is my point. How are we having 100 and how we did 150 winners and only 20 losses in a short amount of who does that? What retail trader has this record in 2.5 months?
No, nobody.
Nobody. Nobody. Not even big companies are doing this. And we know who some of our competitors are. They are great marketing companies. And once we get the marketing down, oh man, we'll be a beast mode just like them. But in the meantime, we are developing quality, because a lot of these big companies who people paying a lot of money to every month, they're not able to produce these kind of results either. Because guess what? You have big advertising, but you have retail traders who's trading. So people get the results and they get frustrated.
Right. And to be honest, Uncle P, I think when I was not in your classes as a retail brand new trader, it would have just been crazy to hold a trade that long and stay in down a drawdown that long. Are
Yeah.
you crazy?
Yeah.
But now my perspective in psychology has changed because that's not, I was looking at it wrong until I came to the training.
Look at this, sis. I'm gonna give this one last example. This is
Okay.
the daily time frame. This was a nice play to the downside, wasn't it? Let's say this made about basically around 300 pips. Sounds good, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good?
Yes.
Okay. How many days? Let's count the candles. If you got in on that candle, that's 1 day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 days of holding one trade for 300 pips. 10 days, 10 divided by 3. That's our average about 30 pips a day. That's about 30 pips a day. But you were holding how many trades? One. So basically, who would be upset? Well, basically, they average out to about 150 pips a week. So if you made 300 pips in 10 days or in 2 weeks, that's about 150 pips a week. Now, when you put it in that framework, everybody likes 350 pips, 150 pips a week. Man, that is cool. But the problem was, hold on, wait for it. Before you say all that, you was holding that trade way back here and you were just patiently waiting. Why? Because guess what? I saw it even from the 4-hour. Here's what it looks like. And you just waiting. And it danced around, bounced around, and then the drop happened. This is the way professional traders, they know where it's going on these higher time frames because they're looking from here. So they're just waiting. In between that, here's all that's happening. All this up and down that's making the retail trader no.
Exactly.
They're getting seasick. You get what I'm They get seasick because it's just too, and they're watching every tick, every moment of the day. But the real wealthy people, they only see this. So they move on about life and say, when you get to where I wanted you to go, then I'll get out of the trade.
Right. Okay.
So they don't look at their charts like retailers do. So they're cool with holding trades. So like I said, when I said, 150 pips a week, 300 pips in 2 weeks on one trade, everybody, oh, praise the Lord. That's great, Uncle. Oh, Lord. But hold on. Do you have the capacity to mind your business and let the trade play out, or do you not? Because this is what it takes to get that kind of results, which is what people are now seeing through the copycat. We get results, but not the way you do it. And this is what I try to give that variation with Jenny. She's more of a swing trader when it comes to currencies. Typically, not all the time, but at any given time, it could be a mixture of swing trades and day trades with her. Dr. Elvis more of a day trader, okay, which means you'll hold the trade for an entire day, maybe 2 days. And it depends if the market is acting a fool. You may have to hold it 3 days, not because we don't want to hold it that long, but because the market is just acting up and you have nothing to do with that but to sit and wait. But either way it goes, that's him. And for me, I try to be the short-termer person. So I try to get in trades and get us out within a couple of hours so that you're getting a mixture of holding, a little less holding, and a little less holding. So everybody's happy across the board. But overall, when you combine all three of us together, you're getting a mixture to really see what it takes to be a professional. And a lot of that is not reading the charts. It's actually the execution of patience to wait for it to play out. That's all it was.
Yes, thank you, Uncle P, because with the copycat and the sexy analysts and all of these, my trading psychology and behavior has been corrected.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing better now.
I praise God for that, sis. Thank you for sharing.
Okay. Thank you, Uncle P.
Thank you. Guys, what you're learning is especially through copycat, you're learning to learn from professionals. Okay. You can't keep chatting with retailers and expecting them to give you the golden goose, because it's like we're all, you're dealing with retailers and they're all got the same bad behavior and you trying to get advice from another retailer. That's like you got a teacher in the front of the room, but the students are in the first grade trying to teach each other how to read and write. And you're ignoring the teacher who's in the front. Okay. And you wonder why you can't graduate and can't read when y'all all leave that class, because you were learning from each other you don't have the equipment. You have to learn from hang around professionals, see what they're doing. You have to see what they're doing. Okay. This is why you got to be careful who you choose to have around you. Everybody with me? Let me get to these hands. I got to get out of here. Reg, go ahead. Good morning, Reggie.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, good, good. What's happening?
Well, all this positivity talk about the copier system prompted me to go ahead and purchase it. So just so you got a new member in the trade copier.
Right on, right on.
But I'm still watching the tutorials because for whatever reason I'm a slow learner. I'm a hands-on guy, and I said I'm gonna have to watch this thing about 5. I already watched it once because the way you got it set up, it was a process. You didn't want us to skip steps. So
Right.
I made sure I just watched every video and everything else. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna have to watch these videos again just to first let me get through the process first, and then I can watch them again so I can set them up properly.
Yeah, let me show you real quick. This is all for the copycat, literally. This is all you do. Ours is over here. This is mine's. Mine's is blue. Okay. Yours
All right,
is
so mine's gonna be orange.
okay. So once you set it up, which only takes about 5 minutes or so, okay, watch what happens. All right. And don't take this trade, nobody. This is an example. Just watch this down here. Watch this down here. You see, I don't have any open trades, correct?
No trades open, just the balance.
Either, right?
Right.
Okay, so watch this. This is you. You already set it up. This is all you got to do. It don't require thinking, wasting time. All right, I'm gonna take a trade. What just happened here?
There's a trade on the board right now.
Okay. All right, watch this.
Trade on my end with a stop loss.
Okay, watch this.
Trade on my end with a take profit.
Okay, watch this.
And it's over.
Okay, what did you have to do over here? Nothing.
Nothing.
That's it. Just set it up and leave it alone. That's the copycat. You don't need to study that. In other words, Reg, I don't want you wasting time indulging and researching this and that, because literally that's all it is. Set it up and just walk away. Leave it alone. Treat it like a 401. I keep telling people, treat it like a 401k or IRA. Just leave it alone. Check it once a month. Just check it once a month. Don't helicopter it. Just set it up and leave it alone. Just put it in the back of your mind as your actual savings account. And then, for an example, Rich, if you put money into a savings account at your bank, how often do you check in that savings account?
Oh, every week.
Okay, there you go. Then treat this the same way. Just check it once a week.
Okay.
Seriously. And the truth is, if people, and I'm not trying to tell people what to do with their money, I'm not trying to give financial advice, but for a person who checks their savings account once a week, how much interest have the bank paid you on your money that you put in there?
I don't think they ever pay me any interest.
Can you repeat that, please?
I don't think they ever paid me any interest.
Doggone right they did. You got it. You got it. So if we're producing 10%, 20%, or 30% a month on your money in here, is that outperforming what the banks are doing?
Yes, it is.
If we even make 5% interest on your money every single month, which is very, very low for us, again, but let's just say we're giving you 10% return on your investment every month. Is that better than what the banks are doing?
Yeah, it is. Even 2% interest is better than 0% interest.
Somebody in the group type of amen if you heard exactly what I said. Robert, look, I ain't making this up. Robert's chatting in the group. He said, we've done 10% in a week. In a week. That's nothing for us. So for those who don't have the patience, guess what? I'm not tripping. If you want to go ahead, go do you, go find. If you want to, trust me, I'm part of some of these other signal groups and copying groups because I know my competitors and some of these people. I just know them. Okay, I know who they are. They know who I am. And I never mention names because again, that's very unprofessional. I'm not trying to throw shade on anybody. So that's why you don't ever hear me saying this person and that person. I don't mention them. I don't because that's completely unprofessional. But I do know what they're doing. And I know how well they perform. So guess what? Go pay them more money because a lot of them charge a lot more than what we're doing. But if you want to go do it, go do you. But for those who gonna rock with Super Easy, guess what? Yeah, everybody, no matter who you are, you're going to have some tough trading weeks like last week. It was a tough trading week. It was tough trading. It wasn't the prettiest week. We still knocked out 16 winners, but we had some big lumps upside our head because what are you going to do when the feds came out and you didn't expect them to say what they said? What are you going to do when the JPY just randomly, their government said, oh, we're going to do this and then you don't? And those were the trades we actually lost on. The other ones, we won all of them. But those were the ones we lost on because it was a sudden announcement out of the blue. Who can do anything about that? Nobody. Nobody. But at the end of the day, we're still making people profitable. But if that ain't good enough for you, I suggest you go. Please do. Because I only want people with us who's going to be with us because we're working behind the scenes, busting our butts. And Donna, I think she's still here. Donna can confirm we're busting our butts behind the scenes. I don't tell y'all everything, but we're busting our butts behind the scenes to make sure everybody's up and running and happy and this and that. And if that's not going to go somewhere else or keep putting your money in the bank, well, guess what? Reg, watch this. Oh my God. Reg.
Yes, sir.
Right. Here's the question. See, Donna's right there. She said, yes, sir. Donna works up. Oh God, we deal with some stuff behind the scenes. But here's my point, Reg.
Yes, sir.
Okay, hear me good on this. Think about this. How much you say your banks is paying you and you didn't have your money in your savings account, you check it once a week, and how much have they paid you so in interest?
0%. Nothing. I haven't got no money from interest.
Okay, all right, cool.
I mean, they take like maintenance fees of $12.
Oh, so you paying them to hold your money.
Unfortunately.
They're not paying you anything, but you're paying them to hold your money. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
Hey, hold on. This is just simple economics. I'm paying you to keep my money. So in other words, I'm renting an apartment at your bank for my money.
That sounds about right.
I know it is. I've been teaching this for years. For years. Nobody listens to me, but watching. And I'm not against that because you want to put some money. Okay, gotcha. But when you put your money there and they have 1 million customers who also have a savings account, who they pay you absolutely nothing on. Nothing. Do you think their money is just sitting there that you put in there? You think it's just sitting there? Or do you think they put it to work on something that's producing interest for them?
The second one.
Oh, that's what I thought. How do you think they're able to do loans with high interest rates? Car loans, property loans, and commercial bank loans and investments and this and that. How do you think they're doing it? They're not doing it with their own money. They're using the rule of OPM. If you're new, OPM means use other people's
money. Wow.
Money. Yours, Reg, your savings account. And millions of others. And they take all that money that y'all sitting there parked in the savings, paying you zero on it, and they're flipping it over 500 times through all these different investments.
And they're using the money maintenance fee as maybe like a cover up.
You're paying them rent to use your money to make them rich.
God help us all. Oh God. This is why I like coming to class.
Oh, this is funny, but
this is why I like coming to class.
Boy, I got to shut my mouth before I come up missing. See, this is why I got to learn to keep this shut because I tell too much truth. But this is the truth. You paid them rent to make them rich off of your money. It's funny, but it ain't funny. Oh my God.
Well, I mean, once I get this trade copy up and running, then
Hold
we'll
on.
probably be making some money.
Wait, hold on. Whew. Oh my God, this is funny. It gets funnier, Reg. Oh my God, this gets funny. Oh my God, this gets funnier. It gets funnier. Let me tell you this. Oh, this money game is funny. Oh my God, the retail people, we don't know no better. We ain't being taught this stuff. Oh my God. But let me go further. Let me tell you why this is funnier. In order to get your monthly maintenance, barely get it out. Okay, stop. Get it together. So you finish this. Okay, watch this. Oh my God. Okay. All right, here we go. In order to get your monthly maintenance fee waived, some banks require you to have thousands of dollars, and then if you put this amount of money in, we'll waive your fee. Don't you know about banks doing that? They'll tell you, oh, put in this amount of money and we'll waive your fee. Like they doing you a favor.
Yep, that sounds about right. Wow. Okay.
Oh my God, this is funny. Okay, watch this. Watch this. Oh, and they want to say a scammer and a pyramid scheme.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, this is funny. Oh my God. All these little knuckleheads running around. Oh, you're scamming, you're scamming, you're scamming. Oh my God, that's so funny, man. Okay, let me finish this. Watch this.
All right.
Oh my God. The biggest scams be right in front of your face and nobody says anything. Reg, if you put a lot more money in to their savings account, to which even if you put more money in, watch this, do you get paid interest on the more money you put? No. They don't give you nothing. But they convince you if you put more money in, we'll waive our maintenance fee. And what you just did, what did I say they do? OPM. They use other people's money to make money. They just convinced you and other people to give them more money from your hard work for them to go out and invest with. And what did they have to do to get it? Nothing but convince you that we'll waive your maintenance fee if you give me a couple of more $1,000 so I can have your money to flip. This is something.
Wow.
It was just tell you, well, if you put in a $7,000 more, we'll waive your maintenance fee. If you fall below this balance, we're going to have to charge your maintenance fee. So then what do people psychologically do? Oh, I better keep this amount of money in my account at all times. And you think that money is just sitting there doing nothing? Oh my God, come on now, people. They taking that extra money they just convinced you to give them, and now they have even more money to go make money with. And they give you nothing in return. Nothing. Interesting. Interesting. So again, this is why I'm not going to debate with people. I know what we're doing for people. I know we're turning a profit for people. I know we are. And if that ain't good enough, go stick with your bank.
That was a good one, Uncle V.
Okay, Rich, I got to go. Let me get these next hands. I got to get out of here.
All right, see you next week.
Man, thank you, Rich. What else?
Welcome.
Oh my God, that's some hilarious stuff. Oh, that's some hilarious stuff. God almighty Jesus. That wasn't on my list to talk about. But do y'all understand? Listen. type a 500 if that concept made sense to you. You need to understand how these big players are doing their thing. I told you it's a game of information. And the Bible says, my people are destroyed for the lack of what? It didn't say the lack of money. It didn't say for the lack of intelligence. It didn't say because you're not sexy enough. It said you are destroyed because of your lack of knowledge. The word knowledge means information. What you don't know is kicking you behind. And because you refuse to go get more knowledge and you think you know everything and can't nobody tell you nothing, that's why your life is the way it is. That's why I told you when I heard Bishop say that term, nimbleness of thought, that stuck with me because you have to be able to adjust your thinking when necessary. And stubborn people don't do it. And then they cry about their results. Interesting. You're being destroyed because you're lacking information. And because you think you got all the information you need, you're not even looking for the information you really need. And it's destroying you. And those who do have the information take advantage of those who don't. Type of amen in the box if you know I just told you some truth. That's the truth. It's funny, but it ain't funny. It's just funny how they just so easily can manipulate people. Put on the suit and the tie, and they can tell you anything and you'll believe it, even though the truth is right in your face. This is why I don't deal with stubborn people. I let them go. Life will teach you. Life will teach you. All right, let me get to these next things. I got to get out of here. If y'all didn't hear anything else, if you get nothing else out of this class, at least you got blessed with some proper information. And I have been teaching that way back in the days when I actually was teaching binary options. And I took people to the bank's websites and read to them in front of their face what the banks said in that fine print about this information, so that nobody can refute or call me a scammer. I used to do that. I stopped years ago, but I used to do that. And I took them right to the Bank of America website. And I took them to the Wells Fargo websites and these big Chase Bank websites. And I said, here, what did it say right here? And call people scammers. They're scamming the heck out of people. And their people are happy to get scammed. But technically it ain't a scam because it's lawful. You put your money here, we ain't got to pay you nothing, but we're going to make a boatload off of you. And then because you're a faithful customer, you're one of our favorite customers. You've been with us for years. What do you have to do? Apply for a loan and try to get qualified. Oh, I got to say this and then let me hurry up and shut up. Oh my God, this is hilarious. You go to your bank who has your savings account, and they're paying you nothing on it, but you are a faithful customer. You've been there with them for years. Nothing wrong with that. I get it. But then you apply with them to get a car loan or a house loan, and they'll loan you the money out of what you paid them in savings and charge you an interest rate. Is it just me, or is there something? Because if it was me, I'd be like, well, look, partner, you already holding some of my money, bro. So you know what? Here's how we need to work this here. Since I'm such a faithful customer to you and I've been with you for so many years, here's what we need to be doing, partner. You need to, I know what you said on them interest rates, but we need to negotiate and bring that down a little bit more, because I know the money I done left y'all here up in this savings account. Y'all done go ahead and cashed up out of this thing 500 times. So let's drop my interest rates a little bit lower. Since you ain't paying me nothing, I'm still gonna have to pay you money on the money I'm letting you hold. Let me hold a little something. You holding a little something of mine. You making profit off of it. But come on now, let's negotiate. Not negotiate. Let's negotiate here, because you done made a lot off of me. And now I need this loan. I know you're gonna make some interest, but we can negotiate to bring this down a little bit more, partner, because you know what? You've been You've been slicking on my money, bro, and ain't coughed up no returns to me. You make it 100% return off of my savings account, and you ain't gave me nothing. So at least you can drop it a little bit more. Let's negotiate on that. You think that works? Of course not. Anyway, let me get to these last couple of hands. I got to get out here. I really do. Jason, go ahead quickly.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Jason?
I'm good, brother. Yeah, I just recently joined the copycat service,
Yeah.
and I had a question. I just wanted to find out, do I just email the same email for setup if I have any issues with it? Because for some reason, I have a problem with it because of my VPS provider. So I had it working, but I had to stop it temporarily because I had a glitch with their system. So now I'm trying to get it back, but I'm not sure if it's back operating properly. So
Yep.
do I just send the email out?
Yeah.
Is there somebody available to take a look to see if it's functioning correct?
Yeah. Send it to superezforex@gmail.com. And here's what I would do. If your VPS provider is causing glitches, I would go with a different one.
Yeah, that was my plan. My plan was to switch them. I haven't found a replacement yet, so that's why I'm still using it for now. But I didn't like the fact that I had a glitch.
Can I be very honest with you?
Sure.
Jason, switch immediately, because here's the problem. Even if we look at it and figure out, okay, here's where the glitch is, and then they glitch your system up again, you're going to be right back where you started. What I would do first today, immediately, as soon as we're done with this call, I would actually find a different VPS provider,
right?
Put it on that. If after that you still have an issue, then contact us, because the problem is, as you can clearly see, the copier works perfectly fine. So obviously it's not the copier causing the problem. And
yeah, I know. Their server just went down, so they had downtime for whatever reason. So that's
not good. That's not good.
no, that's exactly what I told them. That's why I canceled it, but I still have the whole month to go on it. So I'm looking.
So like I said, just shoot an email to superezforex@gmail.com. And send some screenshots. But realistically, if it was working before, then just do the same thing you did before. But yeah, just shoot an easy email, and one of us will reach out to you this afternoon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
That was good.
Appreciate
Thank you. By the way, Jason.
Yeah.
Jason, and everybody who's listening, because again, we're going to have a lot more people listening later on who's here, and also who's in the YouTube group. But let me tell you guys this. I have said this before, and I say it again. Again, I'm not endorsing anybody, but I strongly suggest, if you are working with a VPS provider, this is just my personal opinion.
Yep.
But if you're working with a VPS provider who specializes in Forex, for Forex traders, I wouldn't use them. Okay, just my opinion. I like using VPS providers. And for those who don't know, VPS is just virtual private server. Basically, you get a computer that you log into in the clouds instead of at your physical thing here that give you like a website, and you log into it's like your own website, but on that website ain't nothing but a computer, and you can use it just like a normal computer. That's all a VPS is. But me personally, I avoid the ones who specialize in Forex, because like last week when big news events and this and that, their service can get overwhelmed and it can affect your trades. Are you with me?
Yeah, because it's saturated with the same set of people. Everybody's doing the same thing, so you can't handle it.
That's a smart man right there, y'all. We talking to a smart man. That's correct. They have a bunch of people bundled up on the same server. So when it's too much volume of coming in at one time on the service, they can get paused or overwhelmed. And it actually happened to me. So I quickly went away from a VPS provider that specialized in for Forex traders. Now, I'm not telling people what to do your own thing. But the moment I switched away from that provider to this new one, I barely ever have any problems at all. Okay.
All right, I had a question about how do you match the symbols? On the copier where it says match symbols, like you could filter the ones that you don't want. Like for instance, say I don't want US 30 to be traded.
No. Here's the point. Are you the one trading these accounts?
No.
Then leave things alone. Leave it alone. Because again, The moment you start manipulating and messing with things, then you're messing up the copier. And then when people did that, and they're like, "Well, now I ain't getting this and that." I said, when you went through the tutorials, did I ever tell you to touch this, or did I ever tell you to touch that? No, but I said then leave it alone. If I ain't said to touch it, there's a reason. Leave them alone. Just let them alone. Let them alone. Okay, just leave, set it and forget it, brother. We got you. Okay.
All right, so I'll send the email, have them look at it. I'm gonna start the process trying to find a
Yeah.
new provider.
And some screenshots as well. Okay.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All righty. Let me hurry up and get to David. David, go ahead and unmute.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I've been listening to you. I'm at work.
Okay.
But I work for myself, so I can take the time. So I'm having a problem. I've been listening to the conversation that you had with Liz, and I guess what I'm trying to get at is I cannot figure out how long to hold these trades. I can only trade like early in the morning from, let's say, 4:30 Central to 7:30 Central, and then at night I trade till I go to bed at 8:30 p.m. Central. But I'm using the Ocean Wave and I'm using the Simplicity, and I tell you, it's I'm not very good at it. I can't figure out if I'm closing the trades too soon, or if I'm holding them too long. I can't figure that part out.
Okay. So here, let me ask you this. Let's just remove time away from it. Let's just remove time away from it. For an example, if you're using Sexy Analyst and you saw this was a nice trade that dropped, correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, on the daily time frame.
Yeah. Just for an example. So did I know it was going to take 10 days for this thing to get all the way down here for 300 pips?
No, sir.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know. So if I remove time out of it and we just look at it for what it is, and it made 300 pips in 2 weeks, is that a good trade?
Yeah, it's an excellent trade.
Excellent trade. What was the one thing I didn't have any control over?
What the market was going to do.
Time.
Oh, yeah.
Time. If you remove time out of this and just saw it for what it was, this was a wonderful trade.
And you look at that with just with the Simplicity.
Yeah, but me, I always, when I'm trading, I use my Sexy Analyst with the Simplicity. Okay.
Okay.
Together, because then it tells you on the lower time frame when to jump in and stuff like that. So for an example, if this was a 4 hour right here, and let me kind of mark this up. So right here, this was up right there. That was just beautiful. That was a beautiful entry right there. Let's go down and we'll go even to the 30-minute, try to find that low line. Let me unlock my charts and just scoot it back. Right there. Where do you see that arrow? Right there. See it on the 30? Beautiful.
Yes.
Just perfect entry. Perfect. And then this thing dropped. So yeah, you just learn to get in the trade and leave it alone. Now here's the good part. The question you need to ask yourself is, why am I helicopter momming? I don't want my mothers getting upset with me. They over the kids all the time, just watching the kids over here, helicopter mom and dads, because I was like, oh, helicopter dad, and just looking at every little move. Don't touch that. Don't. No, let them breathe. Let them breathe. Let them learn some things. Let them learn. Okay. So in other words, why are you watching it? What did it hit your stop loss? When you place a trade, did it hit you? No, it didn't.
I guess I get, yeah, and I'm feeling convicted is that I'm still trying to filter out what I've been taught, the scalping mentality, the retail trader mentality that I have.
You got it. You got it.
I admit that I'm still working on that.
That's okay. This is where it comes into play because again, let's look at gold for an example. Look at how long this thing just sat. And if you hit Control Y, it'll bring up what's called the day separators.
Right.
And that separates each day. So you see day 1, nothing, 2, nothing, 3, 4, 5, Then on day 6, it started climbing. Day 7, you really see some. And then from there on, it just exploded. And we can actually see that here. See, it was just going sideways, really not doing much of anything. And then what happened? A massive explosion to the upside. What did it take when it was in this sideways period? Leave it alone.
Yeah. That's funny that you mentioned gold because I got 2 alerts, one on the Simplicity and one on the Ocean Wave this morning, and I looked at it, and that support that it's bouncing off of, it said to get into the buy, so I did, and I'm still holding it, but I see right there's a dot forming, so
Are you
that's
profitable?
I haven't looked at it.
Okay. Here's what you do. At any given time, you can close out a trade in profit. Okay, you can close it any time. I do it all the time. I don't hold my trades all the time. Like CAD, this NZD JPY trade, I didn't hold it. I had a target, which by the way, it came close to my average daily range. But when it hit about 38 pips, I said, okay, that's good enough. That's close enough to the target. And I closed it last night and went back to sleep. That was good enough. So you can close it anytime. Question is, how long should you worry about the trade if it hasn't even hit your stop loss to give it time to play out? That's the
Right.
And if it hasn't hit your predetermined stop loss, my question is why you keep watching it. So that's why I'm asking the question. Did it hit your stop loss? The answer is no. So then, okay, then what is the problem?
I keep watching it to see if I was right.
That's the problem. So do you see what the problem is? So the truth of the matter is, if we're being honest, David, thank you for asking your question, but thank you for asking your question because you're bringing up the biggest problem with all retail traders, which I've been talking about all day long. What is the real problem then? Was it actually you struggling with trading or are you struggling with self?
So, yeah, it's self. I know it is. This market will show you who you are.
Every single time. Every single time. It will expose you to you.
Yeah.
That's the
That,
point.
that hits me right in the heart, man.
The only way we're going to correct behavior is to learn different. And if ain't nobody saying nothing to us about it, and that's the problem with this whole Forex game in the first place. How many other Forex companies out there are actually doing what we're doing, where we're just actually every once a week, everybody would just come on in and let's just ask questions and have these discussion points. Because without this, who else do you have in your world that you can just talk shop about trades with?
I only have one person, and I met him in your group.
In my group.
Yeah.
So without this group, was there anybody else you could talk to about this in your personal world?
No, and I kept paying for courses trying to find the
That's my point.
magic button, and I've learned a lot of stuff, and it's just all jumbled up there. But I will tell you this, I've learned to kind of slow down and watch, but there's still some things that I'm unsure about because I guess it's stuff that I need to unlearn, like
Yes.
Robert just said.
You have to purge. Listen, I keep telling you guys, this is a powerful statement and it stuck with me. Nimbleness of thought, having the ability to purge one thought process or one belief when you find out it was wrong.
And you know what? I've heard you say this so many times. There's so many people out there selling courses, and I've bought many of them and spent thousands of dollars on them to learn nothing. Scout this 1 minute time frame, 5 minute time frame, and I do know this. I do know that everything on the higher time frames slows down, and it feels more secure
because
to me.
Because it is. That's the point. When you're dealing with professional traders, they all look at the higher time frames. Even if they are professional scalpers, they still diagnose the direction off of the higher time frames. It is the retail trader or the amateurs who are taught to disregard the bigger picture and stick to these 1 minute and 5 minutes. And you have, Listen, I'll say this quickly, and I really do have to go. Thank you for asking your question. I mean, I really appreciate your questions, everybody's questions. This is what makes us different from every other company out there. I don't know of any others who will just do this, where once a week, whether you buy anything now, I don't care, you ain't got about, just come on in, we're going to talk because we're all retail family and we got to get better. I don't know others out there who's willing to just spend time talking and helping each other, because I don't feel I'm a expert at this myself. I'm a student, but I'm just a couple of grades in front of y'all. That's all I'm doing. So I'm just trying to show us all the pathway to get where we're trying to go, but I don't feel like I'm the expert. I'm not. But here's the deal. You can take all these courses and all these things, and the problem is you're still by yourself in your house trying to figure this thing out. There's really nobody out there who's willing to say, you know what, let me just show you and spend time with you. Let me answer questions.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was just talking about that last night.
That's why I say I don't make this stuff up, because we all go. And the problem is, since you don't have another person to literally bounce ideas off of and to help coach you along out of our bad habits, we're all being taught bad habits. And here's what's crazy. You can talk to 10 other retail traders and they're going to have the same thought process as you. So what is that telling us? We're taught to fail. We were all taught.
Yeah.
What did Liz talk about? She was learning what? Patience with what? Time. What is your question really about? Patience with time. So what really happened? We were all taught bad information. We were all given the drugged up Kool-Aid. And we drunk it, believing it was true, because we didn't have anybody out there who was authentically going to tell us the truth about really what was going on and how big players really do their thing. Nobody was teaching us this. So you got all these people around the globe who are retailers, and they're all trying to learn from each other. And no wonder nobody's successful. We were taught bad information from the get-go, and we're trying to navigate and trying to make this bad information turn good. It's not good. We were taught wrong. Truth, flat out. And part of that was bad behavioral patterns. Because I can teach you charts, but if you got bad behavioral patterns that you think is right, then you're going to keep with your bad behaviors. And part of that is over leveraging and trying to rush the charts to hurry up and do what you want when you want them to do it. And if they don't, I ain't skipping a higher time frame. It take too long. Let me go down to the 1 minute, 5 minute, and hell, let me scalp. And the market is scalping you, just chopping your head up.
Yeah.
Am I right about it? Yes, it happened to all of us. And I'm like the voice crying in the wilderness. God said, do it a different way. Oh, you don't know what he's talking about. He a scammer. He a scammer. He and all that talk. Okay, well, keep going. And you come back 2 years later. Here I am still saying the same message. I don't care what time frame you trade off of on the lower time frames, 5 minute, 1 minute, do your thing, whatever. But have you glanced at that bigger picture? Let me tell y'all this real quick. Truth is, the one thing that has helped me is when I went to school for news and broadcasting, because I really wanted to be one of those people on TV doing news. Okay, I really did. That's what I want. I wanted to be on the news. I just wanted to talk. So I wanted to be on the news as a newscaster. And I went to school for news and broadcasting. And during news and broadcasting school, guess what they taught me? You don't ever put your face up on that camera until you know the full story. So when you see these news broadcasters and they give you little snippets of this event happened and that event happened, before they told you the snippets, they had to know the full story. They tell you 30-second snippets, but they knew an hour's worth of information on the story. And they prepare us for the whole story, but then we only give you the sound bites or the big pictures, little glimpse. In other words, they got the higher time frame of the story, but when they get on camera, they're giving you the scouts of the news. Oh, this happened. Oh, and this happened. And they're bouncing in and out of these stories like that. But in their head, they have the big picture. Does that make sense to you? Oh, I think he went on mute. And I got to let him go anyway. David, did that make sense to you?
Yes, it did. It's it's been a journey, man. I was really frustrated that, it's funny how the enemy attacks us too. It's a heart thing. It's a mind, will, and emotions. I understand that. And it's funny how the enemy will just tell you, hey, just quit, man. It's too much for you, because I heard that this morning. I was frustrated.
Yeah.
nothing went my way, and I'm not going to give up because I've been doing this 2 years and 2 months, so I'm not giving up. I've learned more from this group than I have with any group, and I guess because I know God's in the center of it, so I think He led me here. So I'm just going to keep my nose to the grindstone and keep listening.
Here's the deal. Let me leave you with the tip. Okay. As I've been saying for the longest, Ocean Wave, take trades using that system Sunday, Mondays, and some Tuesdays, and then stop.
Yeah. I do.
Okay. Once you set your stop loss and take profit, leave things alone.
Okay.
Now, if you go into profit and you want to take it early, that's fine. But if it hasn't hit your stop loss, why keep messing with it? It's not a lost trade until you close it out because it didn't go up as fast as you wanted it. But if it didn't hit your stop loss, then what's the problem? You.
That makes sense. I just didn't know. I didn't know if I could hold that stuff that long, or would it shoot
Yep.
down and take, okay.
But question is, why can't you?
I don't know. Because my mind.
You got it. It's you. You're sabotaging. And that's the common retail mistake. You
Yeah.
are the problem, not the trading. It's you.
I need to be slow-mo, huh?
How do you think wealthy people do it? Do you think they are scalpers? I've been asking this question for years and nobody yet, whether you like me or not, can refute what I said. How many banks and institutions you think are real scalpers?
None.
None? Oh, interesting. How many retail traders? If out of 100%, give me a percentage. How many retail traders you think are all trying to scalp? How many?
A lot. All of them.
Okay. And so do you wonder why about 80 to 90% of all retail traders fail?
Yeah.
Because they do how many banks and institutions do you think are who trades in the markets struggle with trades?
Well, they ain't struggling. I know they making money off my money.
Okay, they're making money, correct? So watch this.
Yeah.
They're making money, but they don't trade the lower time frames. Retail traders trade the lower time frames, but they don't make money. And I'll say that again. Banks and institutions make a lot of money, but they don't trade the lower time frames. Retail traders trade the lower time frames, but they don't make money.
They making money off the retail trader.
Have a good day, sir. Let me take these last two hands and I got to go.
Thank you so much.
Type of 500 in the box if that made sense to y'all. This is why I outlasted the other people who came in trying to act crazy. You don't have to like Uncle Pete. That's cool. But you can't refute what I'm saying ain't true. Banks don't fool with those lower time frames, and yet they make a lot of money. Retailers fool with the lower time frames, and they make no money. So I don't understand what the problem is. Why can't we see it? Because we haven't gotten rid of that thinking, that bad thinking. Okay, all right. Let me hurry up and get out of here. Dudley, go ahead. Go ahead and unmute, Dudley. Okay, I got to catch you next week. Kim, you're the last person. I got to go. Go ahead and unmute, Kim.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, hi, Kim. Hi.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. I just had a couple quick questions, and you might have covered them. I came in a little late. I realize for me that I'm not going to be the super trader I'd hope, and so I'm going to try to. I'm removing my ego from it, and I'm going to use the copy trader. I just had a couple questions. I know that you're not going to recommend a VPS, but there's so many of them. Are there certain specs that you would recommend if I wanted to use 3 MT3s or MT4s?
Yeah.
I hope that question makes sense.
I'm not the guru on that, to be honest with you. What I would do, here's what I would do. They all have different prices, this and that. Here's what I would do. I would ask the provider and say, hey, I need to run 3 different programs on a computer, and they're going to be running 24 hours a day. And I would just throw it at them like that. And they would typically tell you, okay, well, if that's the case, then, use this amount or do this, or this, because they have different prices, different this and that. So I don't want to go into telling you, hey, you got to use this or you got to do that, because realistically, it's too vast, and I'm not the expert in that arena. So I don't want to give you bad information. Does that make sense, sis?
Yeah, that makes sense. Not a problem.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah, so
I would ask them, hey, I need to run three different programs, and they're going to be running 24 hours a day, and they run about, watch this, write this down, about 2 gigs of RAM or whatever. No, I don't even want to say that, because I know that running the MT4 by itself is about 1 gig of RAM or something like that, whatever they told me a long time ago. But I'll say again, I'm not the expert. Just tell them you have 3 programs that need to be ran 24/7, and let them tell you on average. And then what's nice about it, a lot of them, they have a way where if you need more, because you find out, hey, this ain't working, you can bump it up. They allow you to upgrade to a different level. So only thing I can tell you though, avoid the ones that say specialize. We specialize in Forex. I wouldn't use them. Me personally, no.
yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because I was absolutely going to do that, because 1 or 2 of them have that in their name.
Yep. Hold on. I got an answer for you. Didn't mean to cut you off, but got an answer. I knew Robert would come through. He said use 12 plus gigs of RAM. 12 plus gigs.
12 plus. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, he's better at that stuff than me. So he said use 12 plus gigs. So tell him I need 12 gigs of RAM or more, and then go from there. Thank you, Robert.
Okay, perfect. So
There you go.
yeah, the only other thing, and I know that it's somewhere on the group page, is I know that there was a posting on the position size based upon the account. But I imagine I can just probably email you guys to get that information.
Yeah. Like I
Because
said,
I'm still getting set up.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm still getting set up, and so it's changed a lot. I've been out of this for a little while, and so all of the changes with brokers and all of that stuff, it's just not a super quick decision all the time. So I want to make sure that I get all of the information that you guys are giving. So thanks for that, by the way.
Yeah,
This has been really good.
Here's the deal. Once you get signed up and subscribe to it, what you want to do is just go through the tutorials. And step number 1, it tells you exactly what information you need to send over to the licensing department so they can set up your accounts and stuff like that. And then just go through the tutorials. Only a few of them, but it'll walk you through everything. You won't be left blind.
All right. Thank you. That's all that I had.
Okay, sure. All right. And Robert said with 12 gigs of RAM and 5 terminals open, I use just 1.5 gigs. So in other words, 12 gigs of RAM is more than enough. Okay.
Okay. He only uses
Yeah, just look in
he said only uses 1.5?
Yeah, look in the comment box. And he's telling you what he does, because he's better at that stuff than me.
Okay. All right. Wow. 5 terminals. Cool.
Yep. There you
All
go.
right. Thank you, Robert.
Yep. All right, Kim, thank you. All right, let's get to this last hand. Veronica, you snuck in. Go ahead and unmute, and you're the last one. I got to get out of here.
Yes,
And
can
I
you
just
hear
made
me?
it back. Okay.
Hold on once.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I'm new to everything, and so I got a broker. I'm trying to do copycat. But I just noticed on your screen here, the spread is like 0.7. But the broker that I have, I just noticed when you have the standard premium and VP, but they have minimum spread 2, 1.5, and the VIP is 0.7. What does that actually mean? Because if I get a premium, so say, and it's 1.5 pips minimum, does that mean it right away they're going to charge no matter what I do?
I have those questions, sis, to be honest. Your uncle, he stays completely away from that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Those are questions you need to ask them directly so that you can hear it from the horse's mouth. I don't ever I'm being honest with
Right,
you.
because I just noticed that. I'm like, what? That's something may have asked questions on.
Yes, and what you want to do, and let me say something that, and I'm glad you asked your final question. I'm glad I actually took your question before we left out. One of the deals is, guys, in the retail space, one of the things that is not happening is people are not interviewing their brokers.
Mm,
These are the people who's managing and handling your money, and you're transacting, doing all your transactions through them. So we
mm,
get better at asking them questions, because what
yes.
happens, we ask each other questions watching, and this is again one of the mistakes, but it happens all the time. What's the first thing people do? They go to another person who's in the retail space and say, "What broker are you using?
Mm,
What's their spreads look like, and what's their leverage?" That's the two questions. What's their spreads and their leverage? And for those who are new, spread means how much are they going to charge me for every time I take a trade? Because the house always wins. They charge you a fee to do your transaction. And how much leverage? In other words, I got $100, but I want to make it pretend like it's a million.
right.
Okay, so that's what leverage is. Those are the two questions. They never ask all the other things. What are your fees? What are this and that? Do you have do you have high, when there's high news events? Do y'all platforms stall out and freeze? All these different things.
Uh,
Withdrawal process look like? How, if I made money today, how long will it take for you to withdraw, and what information do you need so I can do a withdrawal? You would just want to interview them like you would an employee.
right, right. Good tips. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody. I got to go ahead and go. Hopefully that last little tip was very helpful to you guys. Again, just ask questions, because again, this is why I keep my mouth shut, because even if I gave you guys information, but then they turn around and do something different, who gets blamed for it? Me. I get blamed for a lot of stuff I ain't got nothing to do with. So that's why Uncle P gets mouth shut on a lot of stuff. I'm getting quieter and quieter, because I don't want to get blamed for things that I know it should be like this, but since it's not my company, these brokers, prop firms, and this and that, they're not my company. So there's nothing I can do about it. And I don't want to get blamed for something that I didn't have anything to do with. I know how it should have worked, but if they end up doing something different, I can't force them to do anything different. And they can cloak and dagger, and you'll never know who they are. But Uncle P said it. No, Uncle P ain't saying nothing, man. I'm quiet. Anyway, peace and hair grease. Much love to everybody.